The Album of the Year award.
We have Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar. We have MOTOMAMI
MOTOMAMI.
by ROSALÍA. We have Multitude by Stromae. We have Gemini Rights by Steve
Gemini
Lacy.
Rights.
Gemini Rights, god damn it, Sean. We
Wet
have
Leg self-titled.
Yep. We have Laurel by Mitski.
Verano Sin Ti by Bad Bunny.
And we have The Car by Arctic Monkeys.
We're not going to do like a narrowed down situation like this because this is Album of the Year and I want to give these records justice.
Yeah, and like we've talked about all these records already. Yeah, but just
we have, but also like this will release as a clip, and so like let's just go in the order we just described.
Yeah.
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, we talked about one of the top rap albums of the year and did a good job of mixing the best elements of rap production wise, but also lyrically wise and showing storytelling. Yes. And growth and just human growth. Like this is universal art. Like this is an addiction I went through. This is me learning how to write again, deal with the stresses of familyhood, how to deal with intergenerational traumas and how to defeat them, how to be a better husband and a better person and a better spouse, how to, avoid clout chasing and avoid some of the trappings of fame. It is growth and maturity you just frankly don't see in a lot of music where we're like, okay, this song was about this relationship or whatever. Like it's so overboard. So yeah. Phenomenal job by Kendrick Lamar and features carefully crafted and brought in to make an amazing work. MOTOMAMI by ROSALÍA. ROSALÍA has had some good works here and there, but MOTOMAMI was just the success, the hit, the one that just went multitudes, no pun intended, throughout the entire world. And incorporating so much of the history of Spanish music, really highlighting her knowledge in music theory and that talent, and then bring it to the pop space where you have folks like The Weeknd breaking it down in Spanish in a way that wasn't that cringy. And it was actually very good. But also like she had bangers, she had twerk music, she had like crying music, she had just powerful stuff. And to bring that much range at a high level, I'll do a comparison right here because it's obvious. Like it's Bad Bunny's just obviously the more like sold out more work and things like that and did more things, but ROSALÍA's album was more artistic and shorter. So in the Audioface sense, I think it was just like a more successful record in between those two. Not to skip too much, but I think that's good. What do you think about MOTOMAMI?
About MOTOMAMI?
Yeah.
I think it's a really, really good record from her. I think it's like top to bottom, no skips. Kind of what I said earlier. It's just good.
Yeah.
We have Multitude by Stromae, which is to me one of his better projects that he's released. Took him 10 years to really make it and to really feel confident to making music again. Again, it's just one of those where it transcends languages, transcends cultures and boundaries with it, and it's one of his better projects, and one of those projects that to me is not just Europe centric, and I want it to get out there with just how beautiful it is.
Truly beautiful.
You have Gemini Rights by Steve Lacy. Jesus Christ, one of the best neo-pop records I've ever heard on this podcast. I never listened to in general. Just
Steve Lacy is one of the people who's most responsible for
funk is back, baby.
Bringing funk into different elements of music, whether it's there are other artists who've been doing very well, like Anderson .Paak, give him his flowers, of course, but definitely Steve Lacy has been on that forefront and been an inspiration for others. But this is Steve Lacy really establishing himself as as the trailblazer of his genre, but also in music in general. Nowhere to go but up with Steve Lacy.
We have Wet Legs, self-titled record that
dominated.
It's just dominant indie. It really just stole the indie scene this year, and it really encapsulates what you can do with this old indie sound that has now been around for a while, but update it to modernize it to really get out there to where now it doesn't sound like, oh, this is just another indie album. It pushes it forward, and that's what we like to do with indie. We get in this little box sometimes that we get stuck of sounding the same, and Wet Leg just didn't do that. They pushed something a little bit different this year and really was out there for a first full project, I should say.
It's also worth mentioning that indie has been where a lot of the interesting stuff in music has happened in the past couple years.
Yes, absolutely.
I think we're starting to plateau on that. You're going to see more genres start to take that mantle on. Check out our State of Music 2023 conversation next year. YouTube.com/audiofacepod. Subscribe to the podcast if you're not already. All those different things. But I if I'm trying to say this is the best of indie and I want to introduce someone and just get their feet wet without showing them like, okay, this stuff gets wild and you'll love it, but like let's work ourselves up to that.
Mhm.
Wet Leg is the easiest and it also really works
Yeah.
well. But not too far off is Laurel Hell by Mitski.
Yeah, Laura Hell by Mitski is just an amazing alternative record to where Mitski, as long as she's been around, she keeps improving, 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 and now she's proving that she's one of the best artists out there making music. To for such a short record, only 30 some odd minutes, there's no skips, there's no filler, nothing. Everything in there is a beautiful transition throughout the whole record. Her voice is amazing, her production is amazing, that she's doing it just herself is incredible.
Yeah. Un Verano Sin Ti by Bad Bunny. There's when you get to a certain point of pop stature and success and fame, at least people like us as critics even just naturally get reflexive and like, okay, is that deserved? Is that earned? Because streaming sales and, concerts you're selling and tickets is usually just like how marketable are you as an icon, as an artist. It doesn't always correlate to musical talent. And when it does, that's when you have the superstars. Beyonce, Michael Jackson historically, stuff notwithstanding. I think The Weeknd, contemporarily speaking, Beyonce and The Weeknd are great there. Bad Bunny, I'd say before this year was definitely in the running there, but like with this year, with his multi-continent arena selling, like outselling tour, one of the best artists this year. Really proved himself. Not only that, but the album, while admittedly on the long side, and while I'm not a native Spanish speaker, there are like certain things I just like can't resonate with fully, as I think other people who fluently understand it can. I think has a remarkably few amount of skips and travels through genres and differences within Latin American music that I think we've both looked for quite a bit, because sometimes this style of music can get repetitive. It can have like that same sort of drum beat, and you have enough difference in here, especially on a pop status, that makes this worthy of being an album of the year. I mean, it damn well be, considering how many songs it is, but it has it, and I'm glad to say it there.
And last one, The Car by Arctic Monkeys, is just an amazing alternative rock masterpiece, to where this is where, like, a group that has been around together as long as Arctic Monkeys have, and have produced some of the best alternative rock for the past 20 years or so, I'd say. They've really come into their own and matured and have changed and pivoted their sound to where now they've perfected this newer sound that they've made, and they've updated it even this year to where there's no skips on this record. That might be one of the only complaints I have on their previous record of Tranquility Base Hotel and Casinos. There's a couple songs here or there that I feel like are weak. With The Car, it just plays out beautifully to where there's so much little hidden tracks, little hidden sounds here or there, that the more listens you give it, the more it just blooms into this beautiful record that, to me, is them at their best. And I cannot wait to see how they do it live as well. It's
do it live.
Do it live.
Yeah.
Fuck.
All these are great. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great 8 albums of the year. All from different genres, all from different things. What are you saying?
I said Alex Ovechkin because you said grade 8. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, amazing. Syndicated 23 Hockey Report coming next year.
Right.
No, it's not.
No, I would love to. Don't have the time.
Yeah, sorry, brother. Maybe eventually we'll do an ESVN collab, and you can.
Please God, because Emma's a huge ass hockey fan, and we're gonna beef, and I am ready for it.
More on that.
Fuck
later.
The Rangers.
More on that. Maybe
More on that later.
Okay. For all the reasons we said, these are really hard.
Do you know who you're picking?
I can name 4, maybe 3.
Let's get down to 3.
Okay.
Kendrick.
Sure.
That's one for sure. I think Steve Lacy.
Okay, really? Okay. This might end up being 4 still. Because where you put Steve Lacy, I would give no, that's fine. So I think a 3. So Kendrick Lamar, Steve Lacy, Bad Bunny.
I was gonna say Bad Bunny. I like it more than a few other things.
I would want to put Rosalía there. I don't have it tied with Bad Bunny because, like, as an Audioface album, I like Rosalía more. As like an album of the year, I like
Interesting.
Rosalía more because, like, it does a lot of what Bad Bunny
Yeah,
does,
no.
except it's less poppy and just more cohesive and shorter. Which, in an Audioface sense, I rate those things better.
Yeah. But to me, my two favorites, and I think the two best, are Kendrick's and Steve Lacy's. And to me, Kendrick made the album of the year.
I think we can get out of this with a tie for runner-up,
Absolutely.
and then maybe a
Absolutely.
winner.
Absolutely a tie for runner-up.
Let's give tie for runner-up to Bad Bunny and
Mhm.
Steve Lacy.
Absolutely.
For
Absolutely.
Un Verano Sin Ti. Un Verano Sin Ti, like we said, just great.
Great.
Steve Lacy, as we said, just
Gemini
top
rates.
of his game.
Amazing.
And then Kendrick Lamar for just like,
Just
yeah.
it's a fucking masterpiece.
It can be appreciated in ways that... Here's what helps me justify it. Steve Lacy and Bad Bunny both have a lot of universal appeal outside their respective genres.
Yes.
Bad Bunny might be close to what I'm about to say, but I think Kendrick Lamar still has an edge to that as far as like
Yeah, I can see that.
appeal outside of respective genres and
Yes.
talent that's been built up to it, very much earned. And you know, I guess there's a little bit of a disadvantage in that I don't have the ability to fully like read through all of the meaning behind like all the songs in Bad Bunny's record, but at Kendrick Lamar's status, the work that's being worked through in that is so incredible.
It's
And
just
so,
amazing.
very
Yeah.
good. I'm very impressed with that. So, with that, album of the year goes to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar, with a very, very well thought out and fought out tie for second place. Gemini Rights by Steve Lacy and Un Verano Sin Ti by Bad Bunny.
Yes.